Okay, so today we're going to take a deep dive into something really interesting, and that is reselling silver rounds.
Sounds good.
And specifically, we're going to be looking at a video on YouTube called Silver Breakdown, and he's actually going into a local coin shop and trying to sell a monster box of silver rounds.
Oh, wow.
And for anyone who's not familiar, a monster box is 500 ounces of silver rounds.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a pretty substantial amount of silver.
Yeah.
And, I think this will be interesting for anyone thinking about buying or selling silver.
Right. And it's not just about the silver itself, but also, the relationships involved and how the market plays into all this.
Yeah, so he really talks about having a relationship with the dealer first.
Hmm.
Why is that so important?
Well, when you have an established relationship with a dealer, there's a certain level of trust there.
Right.
They're more likely to give you a better price, especially if you're selling a large quantity like a monster box.
Right.
Someone walking in off the street with a monster box might raise some eyebrows,
Yeah, for sure.
especially in the current market.
Yeah.
The YouTuber mentions that dealers are kind of overwhelmed with silver right now.
Yeah, he did say that. Why is that?
Well, it seems like a lot of people are cashing out their silver because gold prices are so high.
Okay, so it's almost like a silver tsunami hitting the market.
You could say that.
Interesting. Okay, so let's get down to this whole negotiation.
Right.
He goes in with his monster box, and the dealer offers him $1 under spot per round for all 500 ounces.
Wow.
Now, for people listening who don't know what spot is basically the live market value of silver that fluctuates every minute of every day.
Exactly.
Based on global supply and demand.
Right.
So technically, he had about $18,000 worth of silver walking in there at that spot price.
Okay.
But obviously, when you go to sell to a dealer, you're not going to get spot price.
Right.
But he was offered $1 under spot. So that's a pretty significant hit right there.
It is, yeah.
But he didn't just take that offer.
No, he didn't.
He pushed back a little bit.
Yeah, he negotiated.
Yeah.
Got the dealer down to 75 cents under spot.
Okay, so you got a little bit better, but still not spot.
Right, and it shows that, you need to be informed. You need to stand your ground when you're negotiating.
For sure, for sure. One of the things that he talked about, too, was the difference between silver rounds and the American Silver Eagle coins.
Yeah.
And I think he said that the dealer would have been more likely to give him spot for the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference between those two?
Well, American Silver Eagle coins are produced by the U.S. Mint.
Okay.
They're considered legal tender.
Right.
They're very popular among collectors and investors, so they often carry a premium
Right.
above the actual silver value.
Which is also known as melt value.
That's right.
Okay.
Silver rounds, on the other hand, are produced by private mints,
Okay.
and they're usually valued closer to their silver content.
So they don't have as much numismatic value as an American Silver Eagle. Okay, so when you're selling in bulk, especially those rounds, you're not going to get as much
Right.
as you would for the Eagles.
Yeah, you're lucky if you get 50 cents under spot for rounds if you have a good relationship with the dealer.
Right. And even less if you're selling a monster box.
That could be the case.
So, this is really interesting because we're seeing that the type of silver the market conditions your relationship with the dealer and your negotiating skills all play a part in what you're going to get.
Yeah, it's a lot to consider.
For sure. One thing that he mentioned also was that this guy bought his entire monster box at one time.
Right.
Which is a little different than how a lot of people, I guess what they call stackers,
Mm-hmm.
slowly build their collection over time.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's just a different approach to buying silver.
Yeah.
Some people prefer to make a large purchase up front.
Right.
Well, others, they use a method called dollar cost averaging where they buy a little bit consistently over time.
Right. And I imagine that can have a big impact on your profits when you go to sell.
Absolutely. If you buy a large amount at once and the price of silver drops,
Right.
you're facing a potentially bigger loss.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dollar cost averaging kind of helps manage that risk by spreading out your purchases.
Okay, so it's not just about buying and selling silver. It's about having a plan
Right.
and how it fits your financial goals and risk tolerance.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be an active participant in the market, not just a passive observer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to talk a little bit more about this.
Sounds good.
So it's almost like having that map, of what the silver market looks like.
Yeah, like navigating a new city, you need that map to find your way around.
Exactly, and you need a good sense of direction.
Right. You need to understand the trends and build those relationships and know how buying and selling works.
Yeah, for sure. So we've uncovered some really valuable insights here today. Seeing it from both sides, the dealer and the seller, and how market changes can really impact those prices.
Right. And we can't forget about the difference between silver rounds and eagles.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That can make a huge difference in value.
So for someone new to this whole silver market thing,
Mhm.
what are the most important things to remember?
I think research is key.
Okay.
Before you buy or sell any silver,
Yeah.
you really need to understand the market conditions,
Hmm.
the different types of silver available,
Okay.
and the potential risks and rewards.
Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely, especially when you're dealing with something as dynamic as precious metals.
For sure, for sure. I think our listeners walking away with a much better understanding of this whole silver landscape.
Yeah, hopefully they're feeling inspired to delve deeper and maybe even, consider adding silver to their portfolio.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hmm.
Now, he didn't reveal whether or not the seller accepted that final offer of 75 cents under spot,
Right,
but it does kind of bring up a good question. Yeah.
it does.
Um, if people are cashing out their silver, like the YouTuber suggests, what does that signal about the future of silver prices?
That's a good question.
Do you think it means that prices might drop even further?
Well, it's definitely a possibility. Increased supply and decreased demand
Yeah.
could lead to lower prices.
So something to keep in mind.
Absolutely. We got to stay informed and be aware of those market trends.
It's like you're a detective. You're gathering clues, trying to figure out what's going to happen next,
Exactly.
especially with precious metals.
It can really pay off to be a savvy detective.
So we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we have.
From, those dealer relationships
Mm-hmm.
to how market shifts can affect prices.
Right.
But there's always more to learn.
Always the world of precious metals is vast and captivating.
It's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah, there's always something new to uncover.
Exactly. For those willing to dig a little deeper, those rewards can be both intellectually stimulating
Mm-hmm.
and intensely profitable.
For sure.
So to our listener, we encourage you to keep exploring that silver market.
Yeah.
Dive into its history, its economics,
Right.
the global factors that can shape it.
It's fascinating.
And as you journey through this world, just remember what we learned today about research and due diligence and a healthy dose of skepticism.
Right, because the more you know about silver, the better equipped you are to make those informed decisions.
Without anything, really.
Absolutely, knowledge is power.
It's like building a house.
You need a strong foundation.
Exactly. So until our next deep dive, keep learning,
Keep asking questions.
keep exploring.
And may your journey through the world of silver be both insightful and rewarding.
You got it. You need that solid foundation of knowledge to build on.
That's right.
Okay, well, until our next deep dive,
Yes.
keep learning, keep asking questions,
Absolutely.
and keep on exploring.
And best of luck with your silver journey.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us.
My